all that. And without further ado, I would quickly move forward to introduce to you the speaker of the first cohort of the LMI to give us an opening remark or a welcome remark to this masterclass. So we have something we called, we have in every cohort, if you are opportune to move into the program, we usually have principal officers, and we have principal officers such as the speaker, the deputy speaker, chief whip, majority speaker, minority, and all that stuff. So we have done 2 cohorts so far. So, and we also have an alumni association, which is we are the ones organizing this masterclass for you all to learn about 1 or 2 things about the application. So without wasting much of our time, I would quickly invite the speaker of the first cohort of the LMI fellowship and to give us an opening remark. Please let's give a clap emoji as we invite him, Honorable Olise Abu. Thank you very much. Please, you have the stage.
Yeah, thank you, Oli, for your very, very kind introduction. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for your introduction, and I am really, really happy to be here. I decided to choose a very relaxed background since it's Sunday. So we're going to have a relaxed conversation and we'll share all the knowledge we have on applications. So from the 118 fellows that we have from both cohorts, I welcome you all to this masterclass, and I'm excited about the masterclass. First of all, to those fellows, alumni who have volunteered to be here, thank you for sharing your time, for sharing your knowledge, and the willingness to share your capacity. I'm sure we'll all benefit from it. For all of us who have joined in from various parts of the country, it's exciting to have all of you here. It shows your passion, your drive, and you're following your dreams. This exercise is one where we share ideas from our own experiences. They are not the holy grail to which you would get into the fellowship, but the good thing is these ideas are going to be beneficial, not just to the LMI application, but to various other applications which you are making yourselves. So I just welcome us to this event, and let's kick start with the next agenda, if you don't mind. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, thank you very much for the welcome address, Honorable Olise. Please, a round of applause. Let's be doing more round of applause here. So that we'll know that you're participating. Thank you very, very much. So we would move on to the next agenda. And that would be introducing the speakers. So we would be introducing the speakers.
Oh, permit me, Oliver. I think I was to speak about, is it the alumni? Is it after the speakers or?
Oh yes, you want to speak about the alumni, LMI and the LMI Alumni Association. Yes, sir.
All right then. All right. I think there are slides for that too. Okay, so after welcoming you, I'll just briefly talk about the LMI and what's in store in the fellowship, so that you would get first-hand experience from those of us who have been there beyond what's on the website. I'm sure you want to know, those of you who have done this fellowship, what's your experience like and what it is. Briefly, it was founded in 2022. It was created by the then 9th Speaker of the House of Representatives, in the person of Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. And the goal was empowering and preparing young leaders who are interested in public service by giving them the practical experience they need to participate in governance, politics, and decision-making. Like I told you, we have 2 cohorts, and the total number from both cohorts at the moment is 118 fellows. So when you get in, you will be joining this group of 118 change makers, and you have friends who you take on the challenges of nation building and also develop yourself professionally together with them. Why LMI? Democracy is founded basically by the action of the legislature, and there's a lot of emphasis on the executive. Everyone, you always look up to your president, you always look up to your governors, but there's little emphasis on who's your legislature, both national and state legislature. And it's important that if you want democracy to function well, you understand what the legislature is doing and how you can influence public policy and legislation, even as a citizen. And that's the importance of the LMI. It teaches you how to do all these things and interact with the legislature more. Without the legislature, there's no democracy. And if you know, once the military comes into power, what they do is, how do they destroy democracy? The first thing is they cancel the legislature. They tell you the legislature is dissolved.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing they do. So that's how important the legislature is to democracy. And your role as a citizen, their power comes from you. So, in a nutshell, it gives you a deeper understanding on how government works and how you can effectively influence policies. You have Chatham-styled conversations with public and private sector leaders on contemporary issues and their experiences. So what happens is most of our public sector leaders, a good number of them, are brought into conversations and meetings with fellows, and you're allowed to ask them questions about their experiences, the challenges they face in governance. And people have had wonderful, wonderful experience. And some of the things they can't tell you publicly, right? Or they don't mention publicly, they'll be able to share them to you. And we've had various speakers. We've had the current, for example, we've had senators from different states. We've had special advisors, just a whole lot. If you look at the website, you see people's interaction with them. And it also helps in contextualizing governance challenges and opportunities with current development frameworks. You get mentorship, and you also get networking with peers and leaders. It's important that when you look at the LMI, you want a group of young people who are walking the same path with you, who are going towards the same direction with you. And that's what LMI offers you, because it picks the best of us from across the country, from every state of the country. I'm sure there are persons from a certain state you've never met, but with LMI, you would definitely meet someone from that state. And then it allows you to learn from them one-on-one. It allows you to dispel stereotypes that people may have about people from different states. And it gives you a picture into how we can go beyond our tribal, our ethnic divides and affiliations to build one cohesive country, one cohesive youth fighting for the dividends of democracy, fighting for good governance and doing it rightly and learning the approaches of how to do it. Next slide. And excursions, you'd have excursions and working visits to government agencies. I put these working visits in quotes because during our time, we used to call it oversight function. If you know, the legislature has three basic functions, and one of them is oversight functions. So this is an opportunity for you to go to agencies. During my time, we went to the EFCC. We asked them questions, about how they carry out their business, challenge them on some of the things they're doing. And they gave us their answers to some of the issues they are facing and to some of constructive criticism that we had about these agencies. So you would go to various agencies within the country, learn from them and speak to the people there. There's exercise and fun. Some people may not like it, but this is one of the experience we have. You not see this on the site, but every morning we have exercise. People hang out together. People, just find time to chill. And in the midst of the extensive hard work you'll be putting in, there will also be time for you to relax and get to know each other more. Soft skills. you build your presentation skills, you build your negotiation skills, your public speaking skills, and lots more. The last point I put is your story, and it's important that you take note of this. Beyond the offerings, beyond the thematic lessons that will be presented to you, beyond meeting people from different areas, beyond the excursions and all that has been curated for your learning, your story is also very important. How do you engage with this experience? And that is where you come in to write your story, whatever parts that you will take out of this, whatever is going to make the LMI and make it to be noble is going to be affected by your story. So what's in store in the fellowship would be also your story. Your story will redesign the fellowship. And I hope you come in with authenticity, you come in with all your knowledge, and you're willing to share and shape what the LMI will become. For that experience, while it's curated, must truly be yours, and you must truly, truly own it. So that's the LMI in a nutshell. We have alumni activities that help to engage society, talk about elections, talk about policies, and influence them and lobby them. So that's what we do. And we look forward to having you on this side. Probably you're the one who would either be moderating or giving this welcome address and talking about the LMI like I'm doing now. So thank you, everyone. And yeah, let's enjoy this session and learn.
Thank you, Honorable Lisa, for that wonderful
defending set
how
pieces.
wonderful brief of LMI and then the LMI alumni. Overheard. Please kindly mute yourself. Please mute yourself. I'm sure I didn't give some housekeeping rules. Please mute yourself until you're asked to speak. And if you're asked to speak, before you're asked to speak, you have to use one of the icons to put up your hands, and then we would ask you to speak. So, but for now, please mute yourself so that we can all hear what the speaker, that is the highlighted speaker, is saying. So thank you very much once again. I would quickly move over to the introduction of our speakers for today. I think I will basically just I would introduce their names and what they will be talking about. And when I have to call them, I will just do a brief bio of each one of them. Okay. So go with me on this one. So we have Honorable Boluwatife Agbona. So please, when I call you, just say hello and you could mute yourself. Unmute yourself and then say hello to the house, and then you could mute yourself again until when I call you properly to talk about your topic. So we have Honorable Boluwatife Agbona. She will be speaking on how have you demonstrated leadership in the past. She'll be telling us on how to, answer that question. So Bolu, please, are you in the house? Just say hi to us. Let's be sure that you are available. Okay, I think
yes,
she's not around at the moment. So
good
Samira,
evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening, Honorable Bolu. Good
Am I audible enough?
So we would have very, very much audible. Thank you. So we also have Honorable Samira. Boluwatife was a member of cohort 2. She was part of the cohort 2 and also a principal officer. Then we have Honorable Samira Usman Adam from the second cohort. Honorable Samira, are you in the house?
Hello, Olive. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, or is it good evening?
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm around.
Okay, so Samira will be telling us how we'll be speaking on if you were elected as a federal or state legislator, what would you plan to achieve in your first tenure of 4 years? If you have gone through the application before now, the questions that you'll find out that everything we're talking about right now are included in the application that you will be submitting. So these are the people that will just help you, put you through on what you should write and how you should write them. We also have Honorable Abdul Basit Kolapo Imam from the fourth cohort. Honorable Abdullah Sit, please, are you in the house? Could you say hi to us? Okay, I'll take it that he is not around at the moment. So I would quickly go over to Honorable Onyedika Sorry, Honorable Onyedika, please. He is the majority leader of the second cohort. Is he in the house?
Hello, Olive. Olive, I'm going to find you
I am so
for
sorry.
mispronouncing my name. Good evening, everyone.
I am so sorry about that. Forgive me. So, hello, Erika. So he'll be taking us on why are you interested in participating in the LMI fellowship program? And then, last but not the least, Honorable Michael. Honorable Michael, are you in the house? So Honorable Michael will be taking us on where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? And then we have Honorable Lotana Nwafor. Honorable Lotana Nwafor, are you around?
I'm right here. Hi, Honorable Olive. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good to have you here. Welcome.
Thank
She'll
you,
be taking us on CV and resume review. So this is going to be a wonderful experience. I want you all to sit tight and grab a coffee or tea or whatsoever you have around you. And of course, be sure to listen, jot down your questions. So when it's time for questions and answers, you could either write down your questions for us or ask your questions. All right. So quickly, we would go to the first part of this. How have you demonstrated leadership in the past in 200 words? So to take this course or to take this question, I would just do a brief intro of Honorable Oluwatife Abona. She is an educator. She's a social impact worker and an advocate for the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. She is a Teach for Nigeria alumni, and where she promoted quality education for 2 years in Nigeria's underserved communities. She's a fellow of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative Fellowship second cohort. She has spearheaded various initiatives promoting quality education, public service, and community development. In addition to her work in education, Oluwatife is the co-founder of Edudite Initiative, which focuses on promoting good health and well-being while fostering quality education in Nigeria's underserved communities. Through these initiatives, Oluwatife has positively impacted over 10,000 beneficiaries. She also served as the SDG coordinator for Bodinga local government in Sokoto State during her National Youth Service Corps. Oluwatife served as the head of House for World Summit Awards Nigeria chapter. In this role, she mobilizes youth to promote digital innovation and develop 21st century skills. Overall, Oluwatife is committed to leveraging her influence to empower youth, drive community impact, and promote quality education. She is actively involved in youth empowerment training and advocacy for SDGs. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding applause, let us invite Honorable Oluwatife as she takes on the first question. Thank you very much. You have the stage.
Good evening, everyone. Please let me know if I'm audible enough. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes. Good evening.
Okay. Thank you very much. So my name is Boluwatife Agbono, and it's a great privilege to be here. I want to appreciate the LMI alumni for this great initiative. So I will just go straight to the point. How have I demonstrated leadership in the past? And before I start, I would like to say that anybody that's gotten fellowship, scholarship, or anything, you will understand the fact that they've either done volunteering, they've done projects before, or they've done something before. nobody just gets any opportunity. They've either gotten volunteering experience before, they've done projects they've done before. So I will answer this question using the STAR approach, that is situation, task, action, and results. Leadership experience, I will answer this question using the STAR approach, situation, task, action, and results. Now, I'm going to give a case study, and the case study I will give is my Teach for Nigeria journey, and I will analyze this question using the STAR approach. In my journey as a Teach for Nigeria fellow, I noticed four.
Sorry,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you, Mother.
Hello.
Could you turn off your video so that you have a better quality?
Okay.
Could you turn off your video, please, so that the network will be strong enough to.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So, for example, I'll give a scenario. For example, in my journey as a school children in underserved communities, so I initiated a school club aimed at promoting health sensitization and proper consumption of balanced diet. And further, I spearheaded a community project focused on malnutrition control reduction by 40%, 80% improvement in students' academic performance. Now, from this scenario I just gave, if we analyze it using the STAR approach, you see that there was a situation in my scenario. I started with, in my journey as a Teach for Nigeria fellow, that's the situation. Then I moved on to the task. I initiated the school club aimed at health sensitization. That's the task. Now the action, I spearheaded a community project focused on malnutrition control. Then the result, achieved population reduction 50%, impacted 10,000 beneficiaries, 80% improvement in students' academic performance. That's the talking about your leadership experience. You will not just talk about what you did. Okay, I set up ball in a community. What did you? What was the result? What was the task? And what did you achieve? So that's how to answer the part on leadership experience. Now, I'll give another scenario to make us understand better. That would be the second scenario. For example, during my undergraduate years, I observed a prevalent issue amongst university students. A lot of students struggled with glossophobia, that's fear of public speaking. And this hindered career advancement and academic performance. Now, I've talked about the situation. The situation was glossophobia, fear of public speaking, leadership experience. Now, I'm going to the task. What did I do? I founded a career development center focused on equipping students with effective communication skills. That was the task I carried out. Now, the action, I mobilized a team of 30 volunteers and 20 lecturers to what? To promote a public speaking conference. Now, the results, what did I achieve? This conference promoted presentation skills by 70%, improved student academic performance by 80%, promoted professional development, positioned the university among the best. So that's how to answer the question on leadership experience. Situation, task, action. So that's the best way to answer the leadership experience. And remember, I said that for you to answer any application question successfully, look at done a lot, then bring that work experience where you've achieved a lot. Any work experience that you've achieved a lot. Now, analyze task, action, and results. And one best way to also answer an application question is skills and competence. Go to the requirement, look at the skills. This is LMI. The skills they are looking for is communication skills, public service. LMI focus is public service. Now, this is what LMI is looking for. Now, look at the requirement. Because of further applications, skills and competence, you look at the skills, you pick keywords from the requirements on the website, then use it for your application using the STAR approach. So that's the best way to answer this question. Thank you very much, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Boluwatife Agwana, for that short and very interesting answer to the question of why do you want to join the public service, especially the legislature, and what impact would you like to make there? So I hope I'm not mistaken. That's the question, right? Yes. So I would take two questions or just two because of time. Then later on, if we have time, we could do more than two. So I'll take two questions. I see.
Olive, can I interrupt you, please?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Can the questions come at the end of the masterclass, please? Anyone that has a question, maybe you can write it down somewhere, then we can take the presentation and answer questions at the end of it, if that's okay. Thank you.
Okay, duly noted. I think okay, we could go with that. So guys, just take down your questions, and please someone should help me note the first set of people. Help me note the hands too, so that when the time comes, we would quickly call those people first who have raised their hands before now. So to take the next question. Hello, somebody say something.
Yeah, I just correct about the question that she answered. The best speaker there.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Yeah, yeah, like mistaking the question that she answered.
What question, please?
The question that she answered is how have you demonstrated leadership in the past?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Yes. How have you developed leadership in the past? So moving on, we are going to be taking our second speaker, and she will be taking us on, if you were elected as a federal or state legislator, what would you plan to achieve in your first tenure of 4 years? And I will just do a very brief and short introduction of Honorable Samira Usman due to time factor. So Honorable Samira Usman Adam is a dedicated advocate for social policy, communications, climate action, and sustainable development. So ladies and gentlemen, she's so much more, but due to time, we're just going to do just this few. So ladies and gentlemen, please to take us on, if you were elected as a federal or state legislator, what would you plan to achieve in your first tenure of 4 years? We would like to introduce Honorable Samira Usman Adam to the spotlight. Thank you very much. A round of applause as she takes the spotlight.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay. As you've heard, Olive have done the introduction. I'll go straight to the discussion. And I think that's the main reason we are all here. The question says, if you were elected as a federal or state legislator, what would you plan to achieve in your first tenure of 4 years? Federal or state legislator means if you are, for the federal, if you are elected at the House of Representative, that's for federal, and for the state is as a member of the House of Assembly. First thing first, maybe you've done so many community services, you've done so many things for your community, you've done so many things for your society. You can use that as an example of what you are planning to achieve at your first 4 years. And if you're putting down your answer, you don't need to make it look so choked up, or you don't have to put it in a way that people will be thinking, what exactly are you trying to say? Maybe your priority might be education, or your priority might be health, or your priority might be women empowerment. You can break it down and say, in your first year, this is what you're trying to achieve. In your second year, this is what you're planning to achieve. In your third year, this is what you're planning to achieve. In your fourth year, which is mostly used for campaigns, you can break it into two and say your first 6 months, that is during the campaigns, these are what you are trying to do with the rest of your 6 months. And for the other 6 months, you tell them how you're planning to convince your people to vote you into office. Like, it's not easy contesting, it's not easy winning an election, it's not even easy convincing people to vote for you when you are not known. If you want to really make that your 4 years very, very beneficial to yourself and the people you're representing, you might have to think outside the box. Mostly, there are things we have to consider. Like, you can say, let's take the second year. The first year, you're trying to settle down, do all things that has to do with knowing what are your duties per se in the legislation. Then you can say your second year, you want to use it to partner with other organizations. Maybe, let's say, you know your way through getting to other organizations, NGOs, INGOs, CBOs. You can partner with them to make things better. You just have to sit down before answering the question. Is that you have to sit down and write down, what do you think you can achieve? What are you planning to achieve? What exactly do you think are the things that are very, very feasible and they are very realistic? That 4 years of yours should be smart. When I say smart, I mean it should be. Whoa, 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 whoa. Can you recall? Smart. Intelligent. It should be very, very smart, specific, measurable, attainable, real time, and realistic and time bound. When you are answering your question, use the SMART goal method to answer your question. I think that will help you in so many ways. Samuel, please mute yourself, like you're echoing. Samuel. Thank you. So, like, you can use that SMART goal method to answer your question. Be very, very specific. Be very, very specific. Don't say, if I'm voted into office, or I am elected as a federal or state legislator. Sorry for me keeping quiet. I just received a message of losing someone. Wait.
Apologies.
Recording.
Sorry about that, Honorable Samira. I'm sorry about your loss, and that's a very sad news. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Honorable Samira, we are very sorry about that news, and we pray that God will give you the grace to bear this one. We're so sorry. We're so sorry. Accept our condolences. So, we would move forward. We would move to another speaker, and we would move to another speaker that will be taking us on. The next speaker will be taking us on speaking on our video submission, because in the course of your application, one of the last thing you're to do is to submit a video. So we would have Honorable Abdulabzit to help us to talk about how we can do a very good video for submission. So Abdulabzit, I'm just going to do a little profile of Abdulabzit. And he's a tech professional and a product coach, MBA graduate and fellow of the LMI inaugural cohort. And Mr. Honorable Kulapo enjoys writing, cycling, speaking, teaching, and his experience working across travel, education, media, travel, education, media, governance, fintech, marketing, and advertising industries. So he's a founding member of the Ilori Global Shapers Hub, mentors on ADP list, and volunteers for several others. So ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome Honorable Abdulabzit Kolapo to speak on our video submission. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for the intro, Olive. And sorry, the name is Abdulbasit actually, but that's fine. Thanks so much. Please confirm you can hear me.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Please.
The name is Abdulbasit.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Oh,
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, awesome. Thanks so much. So actually, I have a slide, but I learned from Veronica that I have just 6 minutes. So I will try to be very, very brief with my intro, and the entire session hopefully can grab as much as possible. Cool. Yeah. So one of the most important parts of the.
You can share your slides. I stopped sharing mine.
Okay, no problem. Cool. Thanks so much. Yeah. So one of the most important parts of the LMI application is the video, right? So you are going to be asked to share a 1-minute video where you speak about essentially everything that you shared in your submissions, like in all of the essays. So you need to also share that in the video as well. And the video will be reviewed by humans, of course, not artificial intelligence. So there are some important details that you need to include in your video as much as you can before you hit the submit button. So that's the goal of this session, to introduce you to some of those important details that you should include in your video. Please confirm you can see the slide while I glance through it very quickly.
Yes, we can.
Yes, not yet.
Yes. Kolapo, you added some time for you, so like you can take your presentation.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Yes, so in this session, I'm going to look at 5 major areas: the introduction, preparation. Sorry, someone's mic is unmuted. Let me check. Introduction, preparation, recording tips. Sorry, someone's mic is debris, mic. Okay. Introduction, preparation, recording tips, and how to structure your content, and then how to review your content, and then finally submit the video for review. Right. So I'm going to share very quick tips on what reviewers are going to be looking at for this video. Again, it's a 1-minute video. It's a very critical part of your submission for this mentorship initiative. Remember all of the essays that you've answered earlier, more like demonstrating yourself as a potential leader, and especially someone that is fit for representation, position as a representative, whether in the state level or in the national level, or even especially someone that would like to serve in a public service. So these are areas where you need to be very outspoken. You need to be very able to communicate to people, get their thoughts across very quickly. And that's why this is a very important part of the video. I also like to, I will try and speak with the other organizers so that they can eventually share this slide with you so I can get more details. The very first part of preparation is that you need to speak clearly and communicate your vision. Remember everything that you've said in your essay, right? You're also looking for that flair in your video, right? So don't create a video that doesn't match what you shared in your essay, right? When the reviewers are looking at your video, there are some criteria that they're looking at, and the criteria is that they want to see that you are who you claim you are, right? So if your essay is saying something about being very conversant with SDG goals, for example, you've had some volunteering experience, your video is another opportunity to now reiterate further what you've been able to achieve with all of those experiences and why you're a potential, fellow in training for this legislative mentorship initiative. You need to speak very clearly and communicate your thoughts across to the reviewer. That's part of the preparation. And then the second part is your content planning, right? So before you sit down in front of your camera and you try to record a video and submit, you need to plan the content very well. And for this area, I would like to reiterate again that, you know, what I'm speaking about, what I'm the one speaking about the session, I also spoke about this exact session last year for this for the second cohort. And that was because interestingly, during my own application, I recorded my video once and I got in. And not only that, during my fellowship program in Abuja, I was able to meet other fellows that actually got in, you know, due to the quality of the videos as well as their portfolio, right? And I was able to learn a lot of tips from them. So I like to just move a very quick forward to some of the key tips that you need. One is that your recording environment should be proper recording environment, right? The location, the background, and you also need to test run the devices that you're going to use. So it's not a regular video that you post on TikTok or that you post on Instagram or that you post to your friends on WhatsApp or any other channels, right? It's a video that's going to be, you know, reviewed by highly, you know, individuals that are looking to see if you are qualified to be on that fellowship program. Remember, this is a training program that's been done at the apex of leadership in the country. So you have to demonstrate that, you know, that capability and that prowess that you're supposed to be there. So the location should be a very quiet, well-lit place, and the background is also should be at least, you know, a bit professional. It's fine if you want to record with your phone, record with your laptop or any of your device. And if you can afford a proper studio, I would like to say that I should invest in it, right? Because I've seen very exciting videos by some of my friends that actually applied, you know, last year as well. So you should invest in a very quality video. So beyond the quality of your video, what are the things that they are going to also look at? I have this acronym, which is the first one, which is LMI, right? They are going to look at this from your video. L being logical, M is motivated, and I is impactful. Remember the essays again and what Samira and the other speakers have shared with you earlier. So your video should be logical, right? So don't babble in your videos. If you want to have a script, please invest in a quality script and try to master your script before you record your video so that you're not forced to look at your script while trying to record your video. You must maintain eye contact with your device when recording. So it has to be logical. Ensure your video has, you know, a clear ending, beginning, and middle. So don't model it up together. They're going to watch it over and over again, even though it's a 1-minute video, right? It has to be motivated, right? You need to show that enthusiasm that you want to be in this mentorship program, right? And you need to demonstrate how exactly it's going to add to your personal growth, and especially how it's going to impact public service in Nigeria, which is the last point on making it impactful. That should be authentic and engaging as well. Moving on, the last acronym already spoke about this earlier a bit, so I'm going to move to the structuring of your content. So you have just 1 minute to get your thought across. So I am going to distribute it into 3 content structures. The first one being the opening, 10 to 15 seconds. Don't spend so much time trying to introduce yourself. You've done that with your CV. Remember, you've done that with your essay. So they're going to look at your CV, your resume, and all of that sources that you already share with them to see your name, you know, your status, your education level. So don't spend a lot of time trying to retrieve that to them. They're not looking for that. What they're looking for is the main content. So you need to share relevant experiences, skills, and achievements. These are very important to share. So don't look for just any other experiences, not your experience, you know, with fighting the armed robbers or volunteering to be a megad for your estate or any of those. It has to be something that is in line with what the program is going to do for you, right? Something around public service, something around leadership, you know, demonstrating leadership or volunteering, something that keys into the vision and mission of LMI as well. And then finally is the closing. So in the closing, you have to do something that is very important. You need to express your gratitude to the reviewer, right? So when the reviewers are looking at your video, when you lock them in with the main content, with the closing, you're trying to thank them and appreciate them for reviewing your video, and you're looking to a favorable response from them. So that kind of, you know, lighten up their mood, and then they will be able to score you a bit better, right? And then finally, we have the video review and the application submission, right? So I will also advise that you do the video review. For the video review, there's an anatomy for that, which is self, right? I'm trying to get all of these thoughts across very clearly. So the self antonym simply says there's S for script, E for energy, L for lighting, and then F for framing. So these are very important for your video. S being that the script has to be solid. Remember what we said about the content structure. So your script should go in line with that content structure. Try to practice your script over and over again before you light up your camera and you sit and record. And then energy, you need to show that enthusiastic. For those that have been in maybe student governance or student politics before, that aluta spirit. If you have it, bring it on, right? The way you present, the way you try to negotiate, the way you try to, we call it steez these days, right? So if you have that steez, don't forget to bring it on while trying to record a video. It is very, very essential. And the lighting, don't record your video in a very dark space or in somewhere where you have like different weather like impacting the video quality. Try to sit in a very lit, well lit and clear area of visibility. And that's why I can't even put on my camera right now, because I'm somewhere where my lighting is not entirely good, right? And then framing, ensure that you're properly framed in the video, right? So don't, again, if you can put your phone or your device on something to make it steady, it's very essential. Don't try and hold it so much and then record with your front camera while it's shaky, so that you don't stress the reviewer so much, right? This is very, very important. And then finally, is that you should also share that video with your friends and families, trusted partners, people that can review for you and give you quality feedback. You need that feedback from them. Friends, family, mentor, if you have all of them, share with them and get feedback as much as you can to improve your video. And then finally, you need to make the edits and then finally submit your video for review by the LMI team, and hopefully you'll get him. So this is the quick tips that I wish to share with everyone on this call, and I wish you good luck with your applications as well. Again, I will speak with the organizers and we'll find a way to share this slide with everyone of you as much as possible. Thank you once again for being on this session, and looking forward to your questions. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Once again, so that was really, really, truly enlightening. I believe everybody got it. It was as clear as the water, I would say. Thank you very much. I know a whole lot of people have some questions, but we would have to come to your questions at the end of this event, or after the last speaker comes on. So, but we would like to take you back to Honorable Samira's presentation, and she's back. She'll be continuing her speech for the next 3 minutes. So, Honorable Samira, please, we're so sorry about your loss. Honorable Samira just lost her grandma, and we're truly sorry about that. And we're also grateful that you are here, to complete what we started. This is also a show.
Thank you very much, Olive. Quickly, can I take my both questions at the same time, or you have to come back and do another introduction?
We'll take the question later.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. As I was saying earlier, please, when answering your question, it should be very, very smart, because mostly what the reviewer said, do go through, is not about you. It's about what you're giving back to the society. You don't even regard the person. Some people don't even know who sent the response. They are only looking out what is being said in the response submitted. As I was saying earlier before I went off, be very specific with what you'll be doing. Is it education or empowerment? Are you going to focus on advocating for transparency in government? Are you going to focus on introducing what legislation is all about to your community? Are you going to focus on constituent management, or whatever it is that comes to your mind that you think is very important the people you're representing should know about? All these things are what should go into your application. Tell them what you are willing to do. If you like, one of the things we tend to joke with is people love bringing humor into serious situations. Someone sent me an application to review. Under the same question, he was telling them he's planning to be rich in the first year. I read it and I was like, oh my God, is this guy for real? Okay, fine. I don't know what he's thinking of, but I'm 100% sure There is a reason he's trying to. Please, no matter how sincere you are, you can't even be telling them you want to be rich in the first year. Okay, you want to be rich. That means you're coming there to embezzle all the money that will be allocated to you to work. So you just have to look at what is it you're trying to do, and you just have to cut it off. Be straightforward. Be straightforward. Like, no one is going to beat you because you say you want to introduce transparency. Like, people have been advocating for it, but like no one is putting it into place. But give them the assurance or convince them that when you are elected, you're going to put that into practice. Thank you very much, and I hope I have answered you to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Moving on, we would be calling on our next speaker. Our next speaker will be talking about, forgive me, why are you interested in participating in the LMI Fellowship Program? Not more than 200 words. And to do that, we will be introducing the majority speaker for the second cohort, Honorable Nyedika. He's a distinguished leadership and business expert, currently serving as the co-founder and chief operating officer at Sandworks Limited. In his role, Onyedika is pivotal in steering the company's strategic direction, formulating and implementing policies, and overseeing daily operations. His leadership extends to his role as an associate of the Electoral College Nigeria and as the majority leader of the second parliament of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. Onyedika's commitment to professional development is evident through his participation in programs at the Africa Leadership Institute and the RLC Young African Leadership Initiative, YALI, in Accra, Ghana. With a unique blend of experience in social impact innovation, Onyedika is driven by a relentless commitment to personal growth, inspiring change, and making meaningful contribution to society. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Honorable Onyedika to take us on why are you interested in participating in the LMI Fellowship Program. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Please, can you confirm if you can hear me, Oli?
Yes, but
Yes,
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Just before we delve into the brass tacks, I sincerely want to appreciate the LMI Alumni Association for these speakers of both courts, Honorable Bernice and Honorable Bernice and Honorable Olisi, as well as Veronica for putting up this. So quickly, the question said, why are you interested in participating in the LMI Fellowship? In my opinion, I would like to think that this is one of the most pivotal questions in your LMI application, because it beckons on you with the question of why. And we all know that questions that regards to why you're doing a particular thing goes beyond just your superficial reasons for doing something. So another way I would like to classify this particular question is that I would like to consider it as your motivation statement. In as much as in the LMI application, there's no in quotes essay with that particular caption, but this particular question completely captures what your motivation is for applying for the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. So also another thing you need to pay attention when writing essays is the word limit. For every essay application, there's always a word limit. You're expected to write not beyond a certain word count. And this particular one, they've asked that you should not extend your essay beyond 200 words. For me personally, I prefer essays with fewer word counts because it actually helps you to concisely express your skills or your ideas without having to use too many words. When you see essays that they ask you for 300, 500 words, it actually gives room for redundancy, unnecessary repetitions, and all of that. So quickly, 200 words. Why are you motivated to apply for LMI? That is the summary of the question. In 200 words, tell us why you are applying for LMI. For me, I would like to break down this particular question in 3 segments, or so to speak, 3 paragraphs, as an essay to speak. So 3 paragraphs. What should your first paragraph be like? Your first paragraph should clearly elucidate your interest and your passion, and as it aligns to the LMI mission and vision. Let me quickly state this. There's something a lot of applicants do when they want to apply for a particular program or fellowship. They feel like they have sufficient information or knowledge about that. That will be you shooting yourself on the foot, because one important thing you should do before you set out to actually fill out an AC or hit the submit button on every application is that you need to properly do your fact finding. You need to properly research on the organization or the fellowship program. How many of you here have actually taken your time to go through the LMI website, browse through the different fields about LMI, the fellowship programs, read the profiles of past fellows and all that? As insignificant as this may look, it actually goes a long way in polishing your application, because whether you like it or not, just like Kolapo said, LMI, it's in a class of its own, and you're competing with the best amongst best. Whatever skills you think you possess, trust me, there are a lot of persons that possess the same or even better skills. So the more information you have in your arsenal, the better you'll be able to tailor a very good essay that would properly echo the sentiments whoever your reviewer is. So the first thing you need to do before you actually do is to go through the LMI page, scan through what the LMI mission, what is the mission, what is the founder's vision statement, what does he look to achieve, what is LMI looking to imbibe, what kind of persons are they looking to recruit. And if you've gone through LMI mission statement, you can boldly say that there are about 3 or 4 keywords. Another thing you should pay attention when writing essays is to make sure that you include that. Just like when you're submitting your CVs, there's what we call keywords. There are keywords that you must find a way to put into your essays. And when it comes to LMI, you cannot take away the keywords like nation building, you cannot take away public sector leadership, you cannot take away governance and legislature. So when drafting your essays, you need to carefully introduce these keywords into your responses. Now, just like I said, the first paragraph, you're talking about your interest. How does your interest align with LMI's mission and vision? Now, you can start with and another thing I think I need to clearly point out here is that it's not just about your skills. Yeah, skills are good, the experiences are good, but a very important component of AC and standing out is your ability to tell stories. Storytelling, it's a very unique skill that every applicant needs to carefully acquire and get used to. So amidst all your skills, your experiences, and all that, you need to be able to, you need to have your way around words. You need to be passionate. People, whoever it is that your reviewer or reviewing your essay needs to, feel the zest, the passion, and enthusiasm with which you're applying. So your first paragraph, just like I said, needs to clearly elucidate your interest and passion as it aligns to the legislative mentorship initiative. So you can just clearly start off with saying that you're deeply passionate about participating in the legislative mentorship initiative fellowship, as it perfectly aligns with your profound commitment to fostering positive change and empowering the next generation of policy legislators for the betterment of our nation. You've seen how I've carefully introduced 2 keywords here: legislature and governance, next generation. You could also say that your ultimate goal is to bridge the talent gap and nurture cadre of young leaders dedicated to human-centered development, thereby catalyzing nation-building efforts. It's about how you tell your story. It's not just about your experience. I've seen fellowship programs or instances whereby people with even more or better skills do not get in, but someone with, in quotes, lesser experiences get in. It's about how you tell your story. It's about how you appeal to your reviewer. So now this is your first paragraph. You've carefully aligned your interest with that of the mission for LMI. Now the second paragraph, do not forget that we're talking about 3 paragraphs here. It shouldn't be more than 3 paragraphs, 200 words. The second paragraph is to tell what you will gain from the LMI fellowship. They're not just looking at the mistake a lot of persons do that. Why are you applying? You see that I want to. It doesn't work that way. This is not like secondary school or primary school essay competitions. You need to carefully factor in certain things. So the second paragraph now should be telling your reviewer what you're looking to gain, because LMI is putting in a lot of resources, a lot of funding into the program. So they're not just doing it for the show of it. They are looking to impact, and they're making sure that whosoever it is that they're picking, selecting, they're not going to pay your flight fare to come to Abuja, lodge you in a hotel, you enjoy all the things, and you're not paying attention, you don't have the capability to receive knowledge. So in your second paragraph, you should be telling them that in this transformative fellowship, you're expecting to gain invaluable insights into responsive leadership roles. Do not forget the keywords. Element is all about leadership. Gain insights into policy making, systemic change, and probably collaborative discussions that are critical for driving positive change within Nigeria's governance scheme. LMI focuses on developing leaders within Nigeria. So you shouldn't be telling them, you're looking for how you be a global how you be a global change maker, you want to effect change in the US and all that. That's not what they're looking to get. You also tell them that the experience will inspire you, but also provide you with the knowledge and the motivation you need to become a purpose-driven leader dedicated to enhancing public service delivery and national cohesion. Now, if you pull up things like this, your reviewer is saying that, okay, you're not just looking to come, but you're being receptive. You're open to receiving the knowledge that LMI has to offer. Now, your concluding paragraph should be where you get to tell them where concisely what you will offer. Yes, you've told them your interest, your passion. You've told them what you're looking to gain. Now, you should tell them it's one thing to receive, it's another thing to give. And what are some of the qualities of a leader? It's that you're able to give back. To say to one, excuse me, too much is given, much is expected. So your concluding paragraph, be able to tell them that, okay, with all these skills that you're looking to acquire, you're actually looking to giving back to the community. You understand? Giving back to the larger society. Could tell them that as an emerging policy advisor with a keen interest in public civil leadership and governance, do not forget each paragraph, each sentence should have at least a key word around the fellowship. LMI Fellowship offers an unparalleled opportunity for you to connect and network with Nigeria's top policy shapers, experts from diverse backgrounds, and fellow young change makers from various regions. Another thing, stories like this do is that you're indirectly telling the person that you're a people's person. They're going to be bringing you with so many fellows with different cultural backgrounds, relationship backgrounds. You need to understand your interpersonal. You need to understand that you have interpersonal skills. You need to understand that whatever it is they're bringing is not somebody that will be fighting over differences. You understand in policies or ideas. You're fighting because someone does not share the same idea with you. So now you're telling them you're looking forward to actually meeting other change makers. Is you admitting that you have great interpersonal skills. Then you also let them know that this network, what do you intend to do with the network you're going to build? Because whether you like it or not, LMI is going to expose you to a very vast network. You let them know that this network will not only broaden your horizons, but will also empower with the skills and the connection you need to drive meaningful, localized, and evidence policy changes on other keywords. So in some ways about intentionality, you need to be very intentional. Go through the LMI website. What are the keywords? How do you align them with your interest, with your skills? What are you looking to gain from LMI based on their mission statement? They've already stated that this is what they want to give. Then how would you give back? How are you looking to give back with those skills and all that? In conclusion, basically, I'll say that you need to take this particular question seriously. It actually sets the tone for every other thing, every other of your response. It's just like I said at the onset, it's your motivation statement. You need to be very passionate. The reviewer needs to feel that zest in you as you're responding to the questions. And if you're able to do this, then it's also very important that at the end of you drafting your essays, it's always good to have a second opinion on your essays. Push it out, reach out to maybe fellows feel free to interact, maybe reach out to fellows on different social media handles, tell them okay that you would like them to review your essays, just have a second opinion on your essays. A second eyesight always goes a long way, in helping you understand things. And trust me, you will need all the help you can get, one or two inputs you can get from all that. So I think Olisi had said in his opening statement, it's not like a rule fits all. It's just basically guidelines. And as you do this, amongst other things, wishing the third cohort applicants all the best in their applications. Thank you. Over to you, Olive.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dika. That was a great one. I also learned from it in case I want to reapply again for LMI this year. We will be going on to another very important segment. CV stroke resume review, because you get to upload your CV or resume on the as part of your application process. So and it has to be not more than 2 pages. To do this, we will be inviting our lawyer, Honorable Lotana Nwafo. She will be speaking to us on how we can, appropriately channel our CVs and, towards this application. So, Honorable Lotana, please, you have the spotlight. Thank you.
Hello, Olive. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, my fellow honorables. I'm so glad to be here and to be sharing with us. I'm going to be talking very briefly on how to go about the CV requirements in the application process. Let me start by mentioning, and I think that Honorable Abdul Basit did a very good job of highlighting that as well. Every single point in the application process is important. And by that, I mean every question you have to cover. So you don't want to leave out marks from the video thinking that, oh, I did the best I could with the personal statement. So yeah, point is your CV counts a whole lot. For me, this is why I want to place emphasis on your CV. With every other thing you're doing, the personal statement, the essay you're going to be submitting, you're mostly doing what I want or what I choose to call picture painting, right? So you're telling the selection panel, this is what I want to do, this is what I have in mind to do, this is what I have to offer. That's all great. You're giving them an insight on the kind of drive and the kind of heart you have towards policy making, which is like the general thing here, making change in society, because that's the bigger picture, governance and all that. Great. But the truth is, your CV is actually like the first window into who you really are, what kind of potential you have, what you have to offer, what you're already doing in your own little or big space. So you actually want to pay a lot of attention to what goes into your CV, because it's like the actual personal contact they're having, apart from maybe your video. That's something else I would rate with that. So very quickly, I'm going to cover the basics of what a standard CV should contain. And by that, I mean the sections that you should follow. I'm sure a lot of us have knowledge on that. I'm giving my experience as someone who does it for a living as well. I offer services like that. So yours could be very different, but I think these are the basic things you want to cover, the sections you want to have in them. But my major emphasis for tonight, and I'll share that after, will actually be 2 areas that I think you should place importance on when you're preparing your CV. So over to the sections. A standard CV should have one, your profile summary. So think of this as introducing yourself professionally to someone in like 3 to 4 lines. You're telling them about who you are based on maybe your work experience, your academic background, what you're currently doing, what kind of value do you have to offer. Just summarize all that in your profile summary. It's like the first clue you're given about every single thing you're talking about. Then you're moving over to your work experience section, which is where we mostly talk about paid roles, jobs you've done and all. There's also the volunteer experience, so that's why we're separating the 2 of them. You have, you have everything, like I said, work, what have you done, your responsibilities in those organizations, and I'm going to come right back to that. The next section should probably be a highlight of your skills, which is great, because if you have particular skills that counts towards what we're doing here or what you're aiming for here, then you should definitely include them there. You have your educational background section, of course, and then any other professional platforms you're already a member of. So say you're a member of some other fellowship stuff and all those things, you want to include them there. Now, that's that. I'm going to go right into, before I go into that, of course, I want to believe everyone here paid attention to the criteria given by the LMI itself. Your CV should not be more than 2 pages. You really want to pay attention to that. A lot of people tend to overshoot and just think, oh, it doesn't count. It does. It could actually make a difference in whether you're chosen or not. Little things like that. You want to observe the Times New Roman requirements, the font size, keep it at 12, keep it the line spacing at 1.5. It just makes it look a lot neater. It tells us you have, or it tells the LMI you have your head on straight. So I think that's very, very important to note. Now, the things I really want to share about concern the work experience section, and of course the volunteer experience, if you have any of that, because that's where all eyes are actually going to be on. All right, so what would the selection panel most likely be looking out for there? Your work experience should be talking about what you've been doing over the years, right? Your jobs, internships, various capacities you've worked in. But what I actually want to point out here is something that I've seen a lot of people make mistakes with in my line of work. People tend to, in the work experience section, they tend to reel out things that they've done. They just keep it very generic. By generic, I mean, you just mentioned, we all know these lines, they all sound very familiar. Let me give an example. I engaged in freelance article writing for XYZ newspaper, engaged in XYZ awareness campaign for XYZ organization, engaged in this, conducted this, did that. That's what you find on a lot of CVs. Not that there's a general problem with them, but like I said, you're being generic. What we're really looking for, or people are looking for, now I'm speaking in terms of people who review applications when I say we. But yes, of course, we're talking about LMI here. Anybody could do any of those things you're listing. When you say, I engaged in this, I did this, it could be anybody. People are actually looking out for hirers or application reviewers are looking out for you. They want to see what's peculiar about you. What have you done that says, if I take you for this opportunity, I'm making the best choice because you have an advantage. There's an advantage of adding you, of picking you over others. So this is the solution I will always offer to people. Show impact. Show impact. And this is how you can do that. Give information about results that you've produced within that workspace. So instead of saying, I engaged in this, I engaged in that, we actually want to see, how did you come about that result? So show results, show the process. I'm also going to talk about giving numbers and figures, and I'll give a very practical example about it. Give figures or numbers. If you can quantify the work you've done, give that. If you have dates available to, like, time frames or ranges to put in, put that in as well. It not only distinguishes you, it shows that you're actually somebody who is doing things. Especially if you're someone who likes to assess yourself, you should be able to say, oh, within this place, what did I do? How did I make a difference in that place? Let me give a practical example with myself. So I run an initiative that is designed to give creatives a sense of identity, ground them in that identity, in terms of how powerful their gifts are, how they can actually use those gifts. And then we empower them via various projects, various platforms to make positive impact in society. We don't just want them having gifts and not doing anything. We want you to be able to use them and use them positively. Right. So in my CV, you're going to find part of my work experience. When I'm detailing the things that I've been doing over the years, you're going to find one of them reading, I have reached over 450 creatives. Now note, I've given a number because that's an actual assessment I've done. Reached over 450 creatives within a space of 2 years. I could.
We can't hear you again.
Honorable Tana, I think she's having network issue.
I'm so sorry. Do you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you for bringing that to my attention. All right. So I was talking about, and I was giving a practical example of my own CV, right? And I was saying you're going to find reach over 450 creatives, which covers the number and actual assessment of the amount of people we've been. I'm so sorry. I think the problem is someone is muting all the. I think maybe one of the admins is muting all the speakers, so we can address that. Thank you very much. Yeah, back to what I was saying. If you can give the amount of years it took you to turn that situation around or to make that kind of impact, very great. Because And then you also find that that information I'm giving is going to be followed up by how we actually did that. So if you're talking about reaching people, for instance, you're talking social media strategies. What did we do? How did we get to them? Or was it physical? Did we get out on the streets? Did we reach our target community? Let people actually see what you've done and how you got there. They don't necessarily want to just hear that you engaged in this and did that. Even if you did it in one small office space, mention the things you did. What achievements did you have and how did you get there? It makes a whole lot of difference. Okay, point out significant things that you've actually done. Second thing I'm going to emphasize is relevant information. Now, it would be a mistake to just throw in every single thing you've done. And a lot of people do that too. They just feel, I just hope it counts. So let's just throw in, and let me just throw in every single thing that I've done, I've put my hands in. To be very honest, you don't want to do that, right? My bit is to tell you, keep it relevant to what this particular opportunity is about. The LMI is looking for young people with leadership capacity and interest to harness that capacity that you have or that potential, right? So what you should be weighing when you're checking what have all the things you've done and is this one relevant or is it not relevant? One, you want to ask yourself, this particular role I'm considering, is there anything in it that highlights my potential for fixing things, for leading a group of people for the benefit of everyone, helping people, making processes easier so that everyone can benefit, things like that, right? If it does not in any way highlight these things, you probably should not include it. And another very great example I could give, it does not now mean that there are little things you should throw away. I also tell people when I'm working on CVs, I tell them, you'll be surprised how the very little roles you occupy, they could even be for free, things, volunteer service you gave, actually can tell a lot about you. Let me give you an example about this whole situation with relevance. You may have worked as a cook, right? Just cooking. And then automatically everybody's thinking, how does that help in the LMI application? But you can't connect it. You can if it's relevant to this. If you work as a cook in an NGO with an objective to get children off the streets, for instance, and into schools, for some bigger cause like that, you're free to mention something like that in your CV because you're speaking about your drive for making life better for others, even if it was just through the act of cooking and being part of an organization gearing toward that cause. You're talking about effecting social change. Now, picture that versus someone else who just comes and gives and just includes that they were a cook, that they cooked in an organization or they served as a cook in an organization, and there's no relevance. You see that one fits in, the other one does not fit in. So that's pretty much how you have to play with the relevance of the things you want to put on your CV. Check which one actually counts, which one does not count for me, and then keep it short. Remember, you have like 2 pages to make that happen, so you can actually keep it short. I would also recommend that you get to someone who does this either professionally, or if you have someone around you who's really good with this, it helps you craft the whole thing better. I do so myself. I'm sure if you make some inquiries, you probably find out how to reach me via email, via LinkedIn. That's very fine as well. I'm going to leave it off here, and I hope this helps. I wish you the best of luck in your applications. Back to you, Olive. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Honorable Latana. That was explicit. It was mind-blowing. Thank you so much. I'm sure this is not just going to be helpful only for this for the LMI. Wherever you are sending your application to, beyond LMI, I think this is so much helpful. So all the tips we're given in this masterclass, know that it is not just for LMI. If you apply it to other applications, it will really go a long way in helping you secure a very good spot. So moving on, we will be discussing or taking the question on where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? And to do that, we will be introducing Engineer Omokafe Shewu Michael. He is the group leader, stroke party chairman of Group 4. So if you have the opportunity to come into the LMI fellowship, we have, as much as we have the different what do they call it? the different leaders. Somebody help me, just skipped my memory right now. The different leaders, like what? What did you say? Sorry, please help me.
Do you mean the different executive members or
Excoach.
excos?
Excoach.
The different principal officers.
Yes,
Principal
principal
officers, bless
officers.
you.
Thank you very much. We have the different principal officers, and to attain that position, they have to. We had political parties, so we have political parties. We form political parties. We have political leaders. We have campaigns, and just the normal thing we do. Just a replica of the normal word. So Engineer Shehu was the political party leader and chairman of the group 4, tagged the luminant. So every group have their name. So in the inaugural cohort of the fellowship, his group led in most of the contests that took place during the LMI 2022 fellowship. So he's currently developing a career in the tertiary education, technological research, and policy development space, and hopes to grow into becoming a legislator, where he can help deliver some of the dividends of democracy to people in areas like his hometown, where low education access still drives insecurity, economic immigration, and poor health. Apart from participating in talks that concern national development, he offers pro bono undergraduate admissions advisory to parents from many lower income areas in southern Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Engineer Omokafe Shehu Michael as he takes the spotlight to tell us about the question, help us answer the question, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Thank you. Honorable Shehu, please, you have the spotlight.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Hello. Yes, we can hear you. Good to have you here.
Okay, yeah, well done. Good evening, all. Thank you. Well, I will first say you guys are lucky. I mean, in our time, we didn't have something like this, so everyone was just putting in whatever they could.
On your own.
Well, thank God it led to where it did lead to. But for you guys are privileged. At least you have that exposition. I mean, into what the reviewers will be expecting from you, and well, that's good in the sense that you know what to write. The other part of it will be that there are others who also know what to write. So you then have to make sure you craft yours in a way that it captures what the assessors will be looking for best, because you have contenders. So, but for this question about where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, if you all have been here and you've gone along with all the other speakers while they were speaking, you see all of the sections are intertwined. You have a whole story that you are telling in different parts. So this one too is not in any way different. The question, where do you see yourself in 5 years, is a futuristic one, so to say. But of course, you can't have a future without a present. So I would say you approach it with these 3 questions. The first being, where are you currently and what are you doing there? Honorable Lotana just finished telling you guys about how to craft your CV. Your CV being you telling what you have done and what you are currently doing. So where do you see yourself in 5 years? The first, I would advise you start with where you are currently doing, where you are now. The next will be, what does 5 years mean to that? If, for instance, you are already a graduate and you are employed. I remember at that time, I was still a more junior staff where I work, and that's where I had to start from. Oh, I'm currently so years into my career, and this is what I am currently able to do and I've been able to do. You understand? So if you are already employed, whatever you are, whatever this position is, what the status you currently hold has been able or is able to help you achieve that is impactful, go ahead and mention it however briefly you can. The next thing will be, is it this line you are still pursuing? For instance, I was in academia. I still am up till now. And I still have the mind that, and that's what 5 years time, I'll already be in middle management level. That actually is the expectation from whatever profession you are in. If you have spent 5, 6, 7 years, 5 years plus whatever number of years you've joined, which hopefully will not be up to 5, definitely you should be in middle management. So if you are still continuing in what you are currently doing, then in 5 years time you should be in middle management. Whatever name that middle management level carries in your current organization, you are at liberty to mention it. For instance, in 5 years time, since then, I will already be a senior lecturer / a leader. I went ahead and I think I mentioned, I will be a leader by then. As a leader, which is middle level management, you are already part of the policy making team, even if you are still in that organization. Middle management means you are able to take instruction, and you are also at that level able to put in, to have inputs into policy making. So please go ahead and mention whatever the middle management level for your organization will be, and don't hesitate to mention what it will help you achieve. You understand? And so, of course, in 5 years' time, you should have, well, I would say 5 years, although you have 5 to 10 years, but I will almost always advise, okay, stick with the middle, maybe 5 years or 6 years. If you intend changing your career path along that before that time, you can as well still mention what 5 years in that new line you want to go into will be, and what is the impact that will have on in governance, in policy making. Yeah. So that's what I think that's what I can advise you do for now. But then I will also say, for those who probably are still students, of course, if you are a student, like Honorable Lotana advised you guys, you have 1 or 2 whether group leaders that you've done, whether class rep, whether course rep that you have done. You have been able to do something. 5, 10 years after that, let us hope you already have started working. There are jobs that are in line of your current profession or whatever your current course that you're studying is. What will 5 years in that profession be? What level of impact will you be able to have as at 5 years into that profession? You understand? That's what I will advise. If you want to take mine, for instance, at least as at 5 years, I was able, like I said, I was able to say, by that time I already be in middle management, and as such, I intend to be fully participatory in the development of education policies in Nigeria. You understand? As at that time, I already had this small epilepsy awareness thing that I was running in my university, and I was able to say, I already had partnership with this Epilepsy Nigeria people, and we are currently working on something to be able to hold epilepsy awareness programs every orientation in my university. And I was able to say, in 5 years' time, I think I mentioned that in 5 years' time, we hope to be able to have institutionalized this. Something along that line was what I mentioned. So whatever 5 years will be in your determined line of action, whether if you are pursuing a professional track, if it's an NGO, so hopefully that NGO will be, if it's the energy, if it is climate, whatever line of profession you think you might be in 5 years' time, that's what you go ahead and mention, and whatever position you likely would have held by then, and what impacts that position might be able to help you achieve. That's what I advise you list and describe as far as this question is concerned. So it's quite broad. I'll be waiting for questions that you guys might have um, after now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Honorable Michael, for this. We sure have questions to ask, and we're so grateful for taking our time to do this presentation. Yes, so before we're gradually coming to the end of this program, or should I say this masterclass, and we would like to call once again to the spotlights Honorable Bolu to come and talk about the LMI values, equity and inclusion. Okay, let me take it this way. The LMI values equity and inclusion regardless of gender or ability status. What is your stance on equity and how does it align with LMI values? I'm sure most of us must have been having issues with this question. So Bolu is going to dissect it for us and show us how best we can answer these questions when we see them. So Bolu, please, you have the stage. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everyone, once again. Am I audible enough? Please let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you say? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So the question says, LMI values equity and inclusion regardless of gender. What is your stance? This is a very technical question, and for you to answer this question, you must understand the key words so that you can marry the key words together. Now, equity, we'll start with equity, one of the key words. And what is equity? Equity has to do with fairness and justice in the way people are treated and opportunities they have, fairness and justice. Now, inclusion has to do with everybody is included, nobody is excluded. Whether you have disability or you have one issue or you have one challenge, you are included. Now that we now know the meaning, the differences between equity and inclusion, now let's move to LMI values. When you talk about LMI values, you cannot take away good governance, youth empowerment, youth inclusion, people living with disabilities. And this even happened in my own cohort. There were two interpreters for the person that came with disability, two interpreters. So if you want to answer this question, you will answer by saying that LMI values fairness in governance and involvement of everyone. That is, LMI encourages active participation of everyone and equal commitment and access to opportunities, including people living with disabilities, because it even manifested in our fellowship. People living with disabilities were catered for. There were two interpreters for them. So that's how you can marry it with LMI vision. Disability people, then LMI values, inclusion, youth participation in governance. Then you can now say LMI embodies commitment to equal access to opportunities. Now, this empowers marginalized groups, giving everybody a voice in decision making. So that's how equity and inclusion aligns with what? Aligns with LMI value. Then you can now say overall, LMI focuses on equal opportunities regardless of gender, class, social challenges, and empowerment of marginalized communities or marginalized people. So this is how LMI value aligns with equity and inclusion. So I will also end my statement by saying, in this application, go through the requirements thoroughly. Look at the keywords and skills. If you look at these keywords and skills, you will see emotional intelligence, presentation skills, good governance, youth inclusion, disability inclusion. Use it to write your essay. Then there's somebody talking about you don't have leadership experience. How do you want to write? Every one of us, at one point or the other, we have this leadership experience, but we don't know how to write it. Most of you have done something in your church. Maybe you are the head of washroom department or the head of protocol. You can just say worked in a non-profit organization, assisted in coordinating a group of people, promoted to
We
so
can't
and
hear you,
so.
Mama.
So just sit down, do a reflection. It might even be that you did HOC or you just collected book in your department. Be able to write a story around it. It has to do with branding, packaging. That's how our application works. The way you package your idea, the way you brand your idea, your CTMI values, youth inclusion, governance, politics, then inclusion, disability, very much, and it's a great being with you.
Very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Bolua Tife, for that ginger, where I believe we've learned so much from it. So I think the next agenda, we would quickly go through the forms, the application process of the LMI application process. It will be displayed on our screen. And then we would go over to the question and answer. So yes, this is it. So can we see this clearly?
Yes, you can see it.
Yeah, we can see.
Yes, I can see.
I'm trying to.
I can't see you.
Okay, it's here. Please, can you help us put it on spotlight?
Yeah, it's spotlighted.
Okay, sorry, I'm trying to enlarge it here from my end. I can't really see.
It is okay like this. It is beautiful.
Ah, it is beautiful. Okay, so I saw a question, if we can use the link, the Google form link or the website link. Please, you can use both of them. You could use both of them to apply. So for this one, for this website link, once you click on it, you're being asked to read very carefully and follow all instructions. Read very carefully and follow all instructions. Don't assume that you have read. I don't know if it happened to some people. Don't be in a haste when you're applying for this also, so that you don't read A and feel like it's B. Okay. So the first part of it is you take your time, you write your personal details. One good thing about this is that you can always come back to complete your application. So when you get to a certain point and you feel like, okay, I'm really done here, I'm tired, you can always come back the next day to complete your application. That's one good thing about it. So you have your personal details here, and you fill in your personal details, your title, your Mr., Miss, Mrs., first name, last name, and then other names. I believe we're all aware of that. We all have first names and last names, even if we don't all have other names. So whenever you see this asterisk, it means that it is very important. At the other names, it means that you can't even submit if you don't fill it. Okay. So I don't know if you get to a point where you're trying to hit submit and you just feel like it's not working. Go back again and cross-check your work if you have been able to fill everything on asterisks. There are red asterisks in different places. So those places are very, very important for you to fill. So if you don't fill them, you can submit. We have your email, put up a valid email. And after this application, if you don't check your emails before or your mailbox, so if you check your mailbox once in 3 months, please start doing it as soon as you're done applying for, because you don't want to get to a point where a mail has been sent to you weeks ago or even months ago, and then you get to see it later, or where LMI, when the event or the program has started already, nobody's going to listen to you. So you need to keep checking and keep expecting. And then also a valid phone number, and then your age also. So the age limit for this, the age range for an application is between 21 to 35 years old. So you should be between the ages of 21 to 35 years old to be able to apply for the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. And you also, this is a Nigerian program, so your nationality, Nigeria. So yeah, and your gender also, you're either male or female. And then your state of origin, where you're from, state of residence, where you reside currently. So are you living with any disabilities? Yes or no, whatsoever disabilities you have, blindness, you can't see, you can't hear, just put yes or no. And then your educational qualification, please, Admin, could you move to the next slide? Your educational qualification. Please, can you go back to the educational qualification? I just want to check something.
It brings a drop down, so it will drop down, and then you have to click what your education requirement is. That's why it's not captured here.
Okay,
so
all right.
It, yes.
Okay, thank you. Next slide. Then you're moving over to the requirement. Why are you interested in participating in the LMI fellowship programs? So I believe our speakers have been able to do justice to this. Something I would like to add to us is that it's not just enough to write stuff. I know we have a lot to write and want to write. It's not just enough to write stuff. When you're done writing, endeavor to dot your I's and cross your T's. Those might be just those things that we just put the readers off. We don't want to read an application, or a reviewer don't want to read an application and start seeing several errors, grammatical errors, and so on and so forth. So I'm advising that even before you get here, you get to impute what you have written down here. I'm advising that you do it in a different place, maybe on your notes pad, or maybe on Word, on your Word document. You do the write-up there, you calculate your the number of words that you would like to, the number of words, and be sure that it is not beyond 200 words. It can be less than 200 words, but it shouldn't be more than 200 words. 200 words is like A, B, okay, I am a queen. So I, one word, am, to a queen. But then on your Word document should also be able to help you do that, because it also counts. And then also suggestion to count, to check for grammatical errors. You could use Grammarly, and you can also use Quillboard. So when you're done writing, take it to Grammarly to help you correct or cross-check. Sometimes you feel like you have done so much, your grammar is on point, and you just need another eye to help you look at it. Someone talked about that. You always need another eye to help you look at your writings. Everything has to be excellent. So you could use Grammarly, you could use Quillboard, and some other software to help you check if your spellings and your punctuations are correct. Then we have, how have you demonstrated leadership in the past? Not more than 200 words also. So the same thing applicable to this. You write somewhere else, make sure you space it. Don't let your work not be tacky. Don't just want to write, full stop, and keep writing and all that stuff. I think you could write somewhere else, have paragraph, make use of paragraphs, full stop, and so on. When you're done, you copy and you paste into this path. Upload a personal statement answering any one of the following questions. So why do you want to join the public service, especially the legislation, and what impact will you like to make there? The instruction there was upload a personal statement answering any one of the following questions. So you're just answering one question out of these three. Okay, so you either answer this one or you answer where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years. If you were elected as a federal or state legislator, what would you plan to achieve in your first tenure of 4 years? So you answer, just pick one of these questions and answer it on your Word document. Okay, you answer it, you know, cross your I's, dot your T's, cross check it, read it again, follow the instructions or the key points that the past speakers have told you about. Okay, and just do justice to the write-up. Somehow these things, this our application is not just I see it as, when I was doing mine, it actually spurred me to want to do better. You know, you feel like you know so much about what you're doing, but when you start writing and you start being more passionate about it, you start, you know, you just want to do better. You want to do, so even if you don't get into the fellowship, you still have your personal statements. You could use it anywhere. You could even use it for yourself. You could start championing projects with it or programs with it, because man, you have written down a statement. Most of us have not written it down before, but we have the opportunity to write it down, you know, write our passion down and all that stuff. So yes, and not more than 250 words once again, and then use Times New Romans, and your font size should be 12. Okay, your font size should be 12, and then your line spacing, I don't know how to describe your line space, how your line spacing, when you go on Word documents, there's a place they have line spacing. It should be, sorry about that, it should be 1.5. okay, your line spacing. And then you upload those files, those things that you have written, your document, or sorry, your personal statement, you upload it here. You drop your file here, either you drag and drop it or you click on it and find your files and upload it. Then you have a place where you have to upload your CV also. Next slide, you also have to upload your CV and do well to
I
also.
actually can't see any slide right now. I don't know. Is it from my end?
You can see a slide being shared by Veronica.
I can't.
Is he the only one having the issue?
I think it's his phone because I can't see it, so I don't know.
The slide is showing from my hand, though. I don't know if
Okay,
it
so
is.
if you can't see the slide, just quickly go into
It is showing. It is visible.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, yes, it is. Thank you. Thank you
It's
very
very
much.
clear here.
But if you can't see, please log on to the application sites and you can follow us from there if you can't see. Thank you very much. Okay. Why are you interested? Upload video, CV, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. Thank you. Okay. Okay, what's going on? We're not done. No. Please, can you go back a little bit? Yes. To upload your CV. Next slide, please. Okay, these are the personal statements. Answer one: why do you want to join the public service? We already did this. Next, please. Okay.
Okay.
Then you upload your curriculum, your CV. Upload on docs only. Okay, either you do PDF, docx, or doc. Okay, make sure you are uploading in these different formats. So if you try to upload your file and you see that it's not going, go back again and check if it's saved on as a PDF or docx or is saved as doc. Okay, if not, please kindly convert it. You can convert it on your system or you can go online to convert it, okay? And your CV should not be more than 2 pages. Use Times New Romans and font size 12. Please adhere to these instructions, all right? You might write good, but then the fact that you don't keep to these instructions could just be the reason why you're not selected for this program. And then upload a 1-minute video of yourself stating why you should be selected for the LMI Fellowship Program. This is where I feel like you should really pull all your weight. let us see passion. Let's not let us, okay, the reviewers see passion. It's not just enough to write what you want to do or how you want to do. Let the reviewers see that you are even the one that applied for this. Okay. And once again, your video should also be excellent. Show excellence in everything you do. Your video should also be excellent. So during my time when I did my own video, I actually went to the extra. I used subtitles. I even, just make it very creative. Okay. Add the extra, go the extra miles, add extra, wow your reviewer. I even had to go and download LMI logo, put there. There's also much you could do. You can do a video of, just be creative about your video. That's what I want to say. Just be really creative, really sell yourself. You have 1 minute to sell yourself. So just do it in this video. And your video should be sent as MP4, MOV, 3GP only. Okay, if you find out that if you're trying to upload your video and you don't see it going, just know that you're not sending the right file. You're not sending the right file. And please, if you send any video more than 25 MB, it will not go. It won't upload. Okay, so as much as possible, reduce your video. Let's be either 25 or less than 25 MB. I know some of you might want to go to the studio, you may be shooting with a professional camera, but when you're done, please find a way to reduce it. Reduce the size to 25 MB or less than 25 MB. You could also do it online. And state your full name in the video. That's the first thing you do. Either you do it the first or the last or in between. So state your full name in the video so that we know that, this is your video. Okay, so are we done? Yes, thank you very much. So let's head on straight to question and answer. So before we already have some questions here, which I would like us to respond to before we start attending to the ones that will be speaking to us using their voices. Somebody's asking, can we have a WhatsApp group of applicants so some information and questions can be best shared and responded to as we move along the application process? I think Honorable Veronica, would you like to answer this question?
Okay, I think that a WhatsApp group can be formed, and somebody from the alumni can be part of it just to collate questions, but would look forward to do. But I think that if you as a group, collective group, try to form one now and just post it on the chat box, I think that people can click on the link and join, and one of us can join as well. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, you are saying that this person that asked the question can just create a group and jump on this
Yes, and on the chat box, and most of them can come in, and maybe one of the alumni will come in and just collate the questions.
Okay.
You can, but the best way to reach us is through our social media handles. I have been responding to questions even till now. So if you hit us up on our LinkedIn page, Instagram page, Twitter page, we'll definitely respond to you. And if need be, we'll escalate it to, get maybe the best alumni that can answer the questions for you. But I think that within yourself is best. You can form your group, drop it here, and those who are applying, you can serve as a support group for each other. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Abigail's asking, can the slide?
Okay, sorry. I will now create a group and send the link here now.
Okay,
I'm in
thank
the
you very
process.
much. Thank you very much, sir. So Abigail is asking, can the slides for all the facilitators be sent so that we can go through them again? Yes. Go on the social media page, at various pages on LinkedIn and Instagram. You would find the social media, you would find the slides from the facilitators. It will be posted there. So on Instagram, you can hit on the link, go on our bio, and then on LinkedIn, I think preferably LinkedIn, you can find it there. Then A friend of mine once shared his essay and I found out he actually used GPT. Okay. A friend of mine once shared his essay and I found out he actually used GPT to generate the write-up. What advice would you give to those using AI? Please, please don't use chats. Don't use AI to write your work. I mean, I don't know why you would want to do such a thing. And I don't know how you would feel or how you would look when you come into this space, when you're finally admitted and come into the space, and I don't even know how you want to mingle with the likes that data. But my advice is don't use it because it will be checked. It will be checked and it will be, what's the word? It will not be accepted. So please don't just generate things with chat GPT and give to us. It will not be accepted. We would find out and it will not be accepted. Can we please, how do we know is how do you know he used chat GPT? Somebody's asking. Yes, we would know. Can we have a detector to detect writings, things written by AI. Can you please create a fair answer? It's easy to detect. Okay. Someone is saying, Ms. Veronica, someone is saying that the Google form personal statement is different from the website form. Are we to answer all the questions in the Google form?
Yes, so whichever platform you're using, just follow the instructions given on each platform. If you see the question that Boluwatife answered on equity, it's only on the Google Doc. The Google Doc is for backup because last year there was a time where it was getting to the end of the application and the website was like a lot of people were applying at the time. So one thing I would advise is apply early so you can be able to use the website, follow all the instructions, and the Google Doc is for backup. That means when the website, just in case anything happens, you can also apply using both platforms and your applications will be reviewed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Veronica. Can an alumni of Plaque Legislative Internship Program apply for the LMI? I think
Yes, they can apply. I answered that earlier. We had colleagues that were part of the Plaque internship.
Yeah, they can
and
apply.
they're part of the program, so they can apply.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much, Sir Joseph. Yes, you can apply. Questions? So someone asked, my question is under the Google form. Okay, please. Dika, please, Honorable Dika.
Yes, it's about the Google form and the website. Applying to both platforms, it's double application. And if I can remember, during our own time, we're advised against that. So if you can, just like Veronica stated, the essence of the Google form was at some point the website was down, so they created the Google form. So if you can access the website, submit your application only via the website. But if you cannot access the website, then use the Google form. But do not apply from both sides because it's going to count as double application. So whichever one you're using that works for you, just stick with one.
Someone is asking if the video should be portrait or landscape. I think
Okay. Sorry, just for video, it depends, right? You can do either. I had friends that that did portrait. I know people that do landscape, but to aid the review, I will advise you do landscape video, right, and try to stay within the limit. So,
okay, thank you, sir. A minute video is not enough to say how you're passionate.
Once your video is longer than 1 minute, trust me, they on your video, yeah. So just try to stick with the limit. It can be either of the resolution or display format.
Okay, please stick to 1 minute. Let's your video shouldn't be more than 1 minute.
You can't hear what I'm saying?
No, I heard you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. When is the program likely to commence?
It should be around November. Hello?
Okay, around November. Okay.
No, I think it's August, but all you need to do is follow the official website of LMI ensure that you follow the official website of LMI, follow the alumni
Ha.
page. All the
Okay, Aisha. Oh my God.
Okay, please, Honorable Veronica, continue.
I was saying that to get information, the best place to get information is by following all the official handles of the LMI, the official handles, and following the alumni handles as well, because we would always post from our alumni, from the LMI. So just also ensure that you follow the platforms. As Olive says, also ensure that you check your emails, because they'll be sending you information via that as well.
Thank you very much. The website does not have the equity and inclusion question what can someone do in this scenario? The equity and the inclusion question said it's not in the website.
Okay, so I already mentioned, I just answered this earlier, that so the review process for either of the routes are quite different, right? So whether you apply from the website or the form, it's going to be reviewed differently, and it will affect you in any way, right? So they are looking at multiple applications, the essay, the portfolio, and the video as well. So just try as much as possible to demonstrate all of this quality leadership that you mentioned in every of your essay, so it kind of sums up to your total score.
Okay, thank you very much. They said Ben Emeka says, can we have 3 or more of the alumni videos, sample videos uploaded on the WhatsApp page? Miss Honorable Veronica, can we have some of samples of alumni WhatsApp videos? Yes. Video that scales through the application posted on the WhatsApp page.
Yeah, I don't know if we can share that. It would lead to somebody personally sharing there. I don't want to go. Sorry, can we?
Yeah, I was going to follow up on what Veronica said. I think you can't just share someone's video, right, without the person's permission. So I would advise try to connect with the fellows who are either on the call, get their names, connect to them on LinkedIn, and you may be lucky to find someone who is willing to share their video with you, video personal things, and there's always guidelines to that here.
Okay. So can we have the handles? Thank you very much. Can we have the handles of our social media? I think it will be, and our websites too, on the chat, so that they can quickly follow. And up to the same point. Official handle. Okay, it has been sent. You will get that on your group chat, and the admin said that group. My question is rather specific. My question is regarding the CV specifically on the number of pages of which it was stated that it should not exceed 2 pages. And during the presentation made on preparing CV, you mentioned that the CV should include a brief bio about yourself, working experience, voluntary work, leadership development programs, attended, skills, educational background, and past leadership roles, and how you impact lives. And I think that can't be comprehended in 2 pages. So can we make it 3 pages? I think the answer is no. But then someone who would like to throw more light on it.
Yeah.
I don't think
no, right. That's all. Olive, can you hear me?
Very well. Like the requirements are not negotiable.
I'm sure that your CV shouldn't be longer than pages, right? So if you have, say lots of experiences, just look for the most important one that aligns with the LMI vision and try to stick with that. So it's not a regular portfolio. If they need to see more, ensure it has a LinkedIn profile, for example. So if they want to see more about you, if your CV is very, exciting, they can click on your LinkedIn and see the rest of your profile and your details without having to necessarily lengthen the pages of your CV. So stick to 2 pages at the most.
All right, thank you very much. Can we have the red? Okay, Honorable Olise, you wanted to say something?
In reality, 2 pages is enough. And even if you're applying for MBA, most MBA programs with people who have 10, 5 year experience. It's just relevant experience. And most times in one sentence, you can capture what you've done and quantify it. We shouldn't add anything that is not necessary in. So 2 pages is enough. And that's the rule.
All right, thank you very much. Can we have the record for this section, Mike? Yes, you can. It's going to be on our social media platforms. Is it compulsory that one must reside in the FCT before applying? It is not compulsory. It's going to be an in-house training. So you don't have to reside in the FCT. It's going to be an in-house training. So wherever you're coming from, even if you're coming from London, you're all coming to stay in a house for the next 3 to 1 month that you will be learning. So which of the what? Okay. No, it's not compulsory. Okay, sorry. Some of the questions have been answered. So I think we can head on to. Is it wise that a Nigerian law school student leaving school early November should apply? Can a law student apply for this? Someone leaving school early November, can the person still apply? Or even someone graduating from, yes, please.
Yes. As long as you can attend the session. So as long as you're free during the period, you can apply. As long as you meet the requirements, you can apply. So I think just apply, even if you're in law school, as long as you be available during that period.
Okay, so we would just give I can see a lot of hands, so I don't know. Mr. Honorable Shewa, I can see your hands. I'm going straight to the raised hand. So Honorable Shewa, you want to say something, or your hands has been off for a while?
No, sorry, it was an error.
Okay, thank you very much. Usman Suleiman, would you still like to ask a question, or if your question has been answered, please kindly put down your hand so that we would take other. Okay, Usman Suleiman, please ask your question in few seconds. Oh, okay, your hand's down already. Okay, we have Ojomu Barakat. Do you have a question? Or
Hi. Yes, I do.
Okay, please, and in less than a minute.
Yeah, that's okay. So my question is, well, I think specifically on the leadership side of things, I know someone spoke earlier about, I think there was a question around leadership positions that you might help or what you might have done. And I know that, during the course of the conversation, a lot of the emphasis has been on public service. But I just wanted to ask, so if we wanted to respond, so for people who might have private sector experiences and they've done, something that shows or proves leadership, would we be able to respond to that using that experience, or are we only supposed to limit it to public service experiences?
Okay, thank you very much. Who would like to take the question? The question.
Can I take that?
That's a great question, Baraka.
Okay, can I take that? Can you hear me?
It's
Don't worry. Yeah, someone is already taking it. Bolu. Honorable says taking it already.
So that's a great question. In terms of leadership, I want to emphasize that it's not restricted to public service. The fellowship itself draws on the intersection of public service, private sector, the civic society, NGOs, non-profits. So it draws on the intersection of that, and it hopes to bring people from diverse experience. So all kinds of leadership is welcome, as far as you can just show it, quantify it, and express it. What we want is leadership, and there is no specific on public service. So everyone can show whatever kind of leadership from any sector they have, and that's all that counts. So yes, please go on and apply, Barakat, if you have private sector experience. It's welcomed. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Bolu, do you still want to add?
I think
all right, your network is
answered the question. You can use any leadership experience. It's just about you being able to
All right,
package your solution,
Honorable
tasks, action, and results. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Was your question answered? Bharat Ojomo?
Yes,
Thank you very much. Moving forward, please, if you're to ask a question, I would like to know you, your name, where you're calling from, and what you do. Thank you. So, J. Mary. Okay, J. Mary.
Good evening. Can you hear me, please?
We are trying to hear you, please. Could you unmute and speak again?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I want to confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Could you call in again, because your background is quite noisy?
So, good evening. I'm Anas Abubakar by name, a graduate from Sokoto State. I based in Sokoto.
Excuse me, sir. I haven't called you to speak. I don't think your name is here. I don't think you raised your hand. So we have a format. You put up your hands, and then I would invite you to speak. Thank you. So I will just go on to introduce Mukhtar Madia. Please, do you have a question? Or ask your question in less than a minute. Okay, if Ukej, please, you can ask your question.
Okay, do you hear me now? Is it better now, please?
Yes, Ukej, I can hear you.
All right, thank you very much. You asked to introduce ourselves, but you already called my name, so I believe that my name is KJ Mary. I don't think my question was answered. I dropped it in the chat box anyway. I wanted to know what date this program will be, the date, and if I could get an exact date or the month at least for will I say for adequate preparation towards the program.
Okay, thank you very much. So Honorable Veronica has stated that it's going to be towards August. I do not think there is an exact date yet. However, I think we should focus more on the application process, ability to scale through the thousands of applicants first, and then we start thinking about the day of the event. But Veronica has stated that it's going to be towards the month of August, but I do not think the day has been set yet.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm asking because I believe if I want to apply, I also have to be sure that I can make myself available to attend the program. It would be of no use applying and then not being chance to attend the program. That is why I really want to know like the date so I can structure and know how I go about the application. But thank you so much.
Okay, yeah.
Can I step in?
Okay, yes.
Okay, Mary, what you need to do is, for now, like Olive said, focus on the application. What we'll do is we'll try to reach out to management, get confirmation. They will definitely post it on their website. So like I said, follow the social media handles. If you are on the group, the WhatsApp group they have formed, we'll also inform you on things as we go by. So once we're able to get that confirmation, we'll let you know. I hope that helps you.
All right, thank you very much, Veronica. Thank you, Olive.
Yes, so that we'll be able to take so much questions. Most of you can do well to just drop your questions on the chat box, and then our officials will answer some of them on the chat box. Okay, so Veronica, you can put down your hands, and please, Mukhtar, do you still want to ask a question? All right, we're going to Temple. Temple, do you have a question? Mary, kindly put down your hands. Okay, Nelson, do you have a question? If you're not asking any question, please put down your hand. Thank you. Temple, your hands are still up. Kindly unmute
Please, I have a
yourself.
question.
All right, thank you. Please.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you so far for this wonderful lecture series. My question is brief. On the CV, is it necessary to add a referee to it?
Honorable Veronica. Or would anyone
Yeah,
like to?
I don't think so. So what I don't think reference is needed. If something else is needed, we would ask. Most times, people just put, if my reference is needed, I'll be willing to provide it at the end of their CV. But what you should do is to try to highlight some of the things that are needed. Your leadership qualities, if you've taken part in anything, your job, your education. I think those are the things you should highlight. For references, just put, if requested, to be provided.
All right, thank you very much. You can put down your hand. Has your question been answered?
Oh, yes, it's asked. Thank you.
Nelson Otabor. Okay. Usman Suleiman Wazir. Do you have a question? Or
Oh, yes, I have a question. A very good evening to you all. My name is Usman Suleiman Waziri, and I'm speaking from Kaduna State. So my question is, I have a lot of leadership experience, and I've been thinking of merging everything as a response to the essay asking about our leadership experience. So I just need advice or guidance. Should I use one leadership experience to respond to that essay, or should I merge all my leadership experience into to respond to that essay? Thank you.
all right, thank you. Would anyone like to attempt? Is anyone available to answer the question?
Yeah, let me take that. Yeah. So it's very interesting that you might have multiple experiences and it becomes chaotic trying to select which one you should settle for. Right. I would advise that you pick maybe the best, maybe like top three, for example, or top two. But if you must combine all of your leadership experiences together, just ensure that it doesn't lack, like clarity of thought. So you're not babbling, right? You're saying something that's very easy to understand. And you can see the situation, we can see the specific task and the action and the results that we achieved with those experiences.
Okay, so
All right,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you. So we'll just take 5 more questions and then we are done for the day. You can throw in your questions in your group and someone will definitely answer you. So we just take 5 more. And then Abigail Essen, Temple, please put down your hand. Abigail.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Please, my question is on where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? The speaker who spoke talked about himself and the fact that he was already working, and he also talked about those who are students. For me, I'm a recent graduate, and I don't have a job yet. I'm still applying, and I haven't gotten anyone. But I'm trying to look at the fact how can I connect to. I'm not praying for anything bad, but in cases where you don't have, or you actually might not have a job, probably even in the next 2 years, how can you connect that to your application? Thank you.
Can I take that?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, your question is fine. Okay, and your position is, I mean, the situation you described is also not an uncommon one. But let's be hopeful. Okay, you just graduated, and well, all things being equal, unless if you have if your passions don't follow along that line, you will look forward to doing something along the line of what you studied in school if you have just graduated. If, for instance, it's in the army, you decide to take up work, 5 years from now, there is a certain, okay, if of course, if you are like I said, if you are familiar with that profession, you have kidas, so to say. So 5 years from now, you expect that at least you are no longer a beginner. If it's civil service promotion is usually 3 years, 3 to 4 years. So let's say on your fifth to sixth year, you at least be level two. I mean, whatever the second level is in that track. You understand? And in case if your passion is, say, NGO, for instance, that you decide to work at, if you're starting, you might just be a volunteer. You get 3 years of being a volunteer, you should, maybe I expect that you at least also begin to have something of your own, so to say, or at least a position in whatever NGO you are working in that space. You get, I mean, 5 years is, you now have some responsibility. You are no longer a lowest rung of the ladder type of person. I don't know if you are following me. So even if you don't have a, even if you're not working, even if you have just graduated, your hope will be that at least by the time you are done serving, you will already get something that, worst comes to worst. Okay, let's just say if we want to follow the normal thing, which is that if you study something like this, you have places where you should work. You did IT, for instance, whatever it is that you did IT, assume that you are working there. You understand? And even if you are not, let's say you decide to go into politics and you join the ward level is what you do, or what you do as a new member. Let's say you join the ward, you are just a ward member. 5 years of being a ward member, there should be something you are now able to do independent, that can be committed to you as, oh, you manage this. And that thing, hopefully, I mean, ideally should have some impact, some level of change that you can effect, where you can put your ideas down and say, oh, I want to influence this because I notice this is happening, this is happening. I feel if we do it this way, it should have some impact. So whatever it is that you are likely to be doing on your fifth year or maybe sixth year of a profession that you will, okay, barring the possibility that you may not actually be working, let's assume that you will, God willing, find work. And I will promise you, if you are as interested in something like this as you have shown now, which is why you are going through the stress of applying, and hopefully you get selected, I can guarantee you that 5 years from now you already be working, and you would definitely be holding some supervisory role or the other. You understand?
Thank
I
you
don't know
very
if
Let me just add in
Yes,
30,
thank you.
let me add in 30 to 40 seconds just to what he has said. And it's also repeating what Kolapo Imam has said, just in case someone has missed it from the chat. It's more about demonstration of your vision and then the certainty of your plans, right? If someone is working, it's easier to say, oh, this is my trajectory, this is what I'm going to do. Or even if you're not working at the moment. And I also want to add, I think the right ideology to life is not to do not see that you're not going to achieve what you want to achieve, right? These are your plans. Just make it realistic, right? This is what I want to achieve. And these are the skills I'm building, right? These are the skills I'm building now. And this is how I want to use, because you have skills, you have those same leadership experience. This is how you're merging them so that you will achieve this in this number of years, right? Another extra tip I like to give, because in such applications, is this is why I'm also coming for this fellowship, right? You could use the fellowship also as a springboard, because you know that from such fellowships, you get these skills to achieve this goal. So they can also look at you that, okay, we want to pick you because you're going to pick up skills from here to achieve your goals. So when you are in the middle, look at what does the fellowship offer? How can the fellowship help you to achieve your goals? What are your visions? What are concrete steps you want to take to achieve those goals? And how are the experiences you have now going to help you to achieve those plans in 5 years? Do not go out of the way to blow a screen that is not possible, but be concrete And yes, please never feel, oh, in 2 years I may not have a job. Always be positive, guys.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So we, after this question, we would not be taking any more questions. You have to go drop your questions in either your WhatsApp group, or you can send us a message on LinkedIn, and all your questions should be asked wherever you need questions. You're going through the application, you need somebody to guide you through, send a message, okay? And via our social media handles. So the last question will be from Ben Emmanuel. So Ben Emmanuel.
Okay,
Ben
good evening,
Emeka,
everyone.
sorry. Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Ben Emeka, not Emmanuel. Thank you. So very briefly, I wanted to find out, does the time of submission of this application matter? Right? Are they considering if you submitted late or on the day of deadline or before the deadline? Does the time matter?
So there is a deadline. There's a deadline, and is the 21st of July. Like I advised earlier, it will be better for you to apply early. You don't want to wait till the deadline to apply. Applications that come in after the deadline will not be considered. So it's easier for you to apply early and just to be on the safe side, because the last time at the late hour, the website started crashing because a lot of people were rushing to apply late. So the best advice is apply early. Do not wait till the deadline, and obviously do not send your applications after the deadline.
Thank you very much. With that, we have come to the end of the question and answer segment. And to round up this amazing event put together by the Alumni Association of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative, I will be calling on the speaker of the second cohort of the LMI Fellowship. Recalling that to open this event, we had the speaker of the first cohort, Honorable Olise Abu, and now we will be calling the speaker and the first female LMI speaker of the cohort, second cohort Legislative Mentorship Initiative, none other person than Honorable Bernice Abeku. Please, a round of applause for her as she takes the spotlight to give her closing remark. Thank you. Or closing speech.
I was listening to you, Oliver. I was like, is she talking about someone else? But anyways, thank you. You honor me. Good evening again. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for making the time to be here. I would say for every applicant who has joined, this shows your commitment to being a part of the LMI. So I'll say kudos to you. This is a good first step. And I'll also say a few months ago, I was the one on the other side of a call like this that was put together also by alumni and the secretariat. And it benefited me greatly because, well, I'm here now. So I say this to say that if you take this seriously and the lessons you get from this session, then of course you have a very good shot at getting into LMI. I want to say thank you to all the fellows who, it's a Sunday. You could have been doing anything else, but you made the sacrifice to be here to talk to what I will say, okay, is the future of LMI. So thank you. To the applicants, I truly wish you well. I have listened to all the questions and they're all valid. I understand that sometimes you could have, you could get jittery with this kind of applications, but trust me, as long as you have read the criteria and you fit, whether you're working, you're not, it just comes down to how you answer your questions. Give your application your best shot. Not to overflock it or overflock what was already said, but for those who are saying, oh, they've not worked before, you have something that interests you. You have something that when you see it in society, it ticks you off. Try to show LMI that, show them how a trajectory you see for yourself pursuing that passion. And if you're genuine enough and your application is excellent enough, I can assure you that by this time next year, we would be having this conversation with another group of people, So I wish you all well. And yeah, have a very pleasant evening.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for that simple and explicit closing speech. Give your application your best shot. Okay, and closing this event, I don't know if I should have done it before Madam Speaker spoke, but I would like to call on Honorable Veronica to give any further announcement as we draw the curtain of this event to a close. So, Honorable Veronica, are there any other announcement?
Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you for everybody who joined, and thank you for the alumni as well for giving their time. But I would just say follow our social media handles. Don't be shy. Send messages. We will read it. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're also on Facebook. We would read your messages and we'll respond. We would also join your platforms, the WhatsApp platforms, and try to answer questions as we can. So I wish you all the best, and put yourself out there. You never know. Just throw yourself like seed, right? And I wish you all the best. Thank you very much to everyone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. So we would call this a day, and we're saying have a splendid Sunday, and have fun applying for this. Bye bye, everyone. I remain your host, Olive Sadiq. Ella, my
Bye.
cohort.
Bye.